My neighbor poisoned my 50-year-old oak tree, so I took his house. The smell of chlorine usually meant summer, barbecues, and the distant sound of kids splashing in a pool, but this morning, it smelled like a crime scene. I stood in my backyard, coffee mug in hand, staring at the base of the massive oak tree that had anchored the corner of my property since before I was born. Its leaves, usually a vibrant, deep green canopy that shaded half my lawn, were curling at the edges, turning a sickly, brittle yellow. It was mid-July. The tree should have been thriving. Instead, it looked like it was dying of thirst in the middle of a rainstorm. I knelt down, touching the soil near the massive, gnarly roots that snaked out of the ground like the veins of the earth. The dirt was damp, but something was wrong. It didn't smell like earth. It smelled sharp, chemical, like the inside of a janitor's closet. I looked over the fence. My neighbor, Gary, was out by his pool, skimming leaves off the surface with a net. He was whistling. "Morning, Gary," I called out, my voice tight. Gary stopped whistling. He looked up, his eyes narrowing behind his sunglasses. "Morning, Stefan. Tree looking a little rough, huh?" "Yeah," I said, standing up. "It is. Happened pretty fast." "Shame." Gary shrugged, tossing a handful of wet leaves into the bushes. "Those big trees, they get old. Disease gets them. Probably beetles or something. Maybe it's time to take it down. Save you the trouble when it falls on your house." "It's not beetles, Gary," I said. "Well, whatever it is." He turned back to his pool. "At least I won't have to clean these damn leaves out of my filter much longer." I stared at his back. The casual cruelty, the smug satisfaction. He had been complaining about the leaves for 3 years. He had sent me letters. He had threatened to sue me for nuisance debris. And now, suddenly, my tree was dying, and he was whistling. I walked back inside. I didn't call an arborist immediately. I called Amazon. I ordered a trail camera, the kind hunters used to track deer, motion activated, night vision, 4K resolution. I strapped it to the back of my shed 2 days later, aiming it directly at the fence line where the oak's roots crossed near Gary's property. I covered it with some ivy so it blended in. Then I waited. The tree got worse. Branches started dropping. The yellow spread like a virus. It hurt to look at. That tree was a landmark. My kids had built a fort in it. On Saturday morning, I pulled the SD card. I sat at my computer, plugging it in with hands that were trembling slightly. I didn't want to find what I knew I was going to find. I scanned through the files. A raccoon, a stray cat, the wind blowing a branch, and then, a timestamp, 3:14 a.m. Thursday. The video loaded. Grainy, black and white night vision footage showed a figure climbing over the low part of the fence. He was wearing a hoodie, but I knew the walk. I knew the paunch. It was Gary. He was carrying a cordless drill in one hand and a white plastic jug in the other. He walked up to the base of the oak tree. He knelt down. I watched, horrified, as he pressed the drill into the thickest root, the one that fed the main trunk. I couldn't hear it, but I could see the wood chips fly. He drilled a hole, then another, then a third. He put the drill down. He uncapped the jug. He poured a clear liquid directly into the holes. He waited for it to soak in. Then he poured more. What I'm about to unleash isn't just a lawsuit. It is a multi-pronged assault on Gary's life that will make him wish he had just bought a pool cover. By the time I'm done filing the paperwork, Gary won't just be paying for a tree. He's going to be financing my retirement. For full version, follow on screen instructions.